And guess what? Just like that, Deann, we are live. And you know what? The beautiful thing is, like, flexibility. I happen to be in a car in a school parking lot because we had a snow day delay today. Nothing compared to a snow day like you just had with Nightscape. Nothing like that. But we had a 2-hour delay, which meant school started late. I just had with Nightscape. Nothing like that. But guess what? 2-hour delay, which meant school started late. Guess what? We know we're live. That's the beautiful thing.
Oh my goodness.
I've just turned off YouTube. We're live. But anyways, I'm so happy to be joining you right now, even though I'm in my car. Because what are we getting ready for?
Oh, I am getting ready for FETC.
Yes, the countdown is on. It is so on.
Yeah,
and
so
you and I, this isn't our first rodeo at FETC. I think this might be our 3rd year together.
Is it? I don't even know. I know we went last year. Did we go? Yeah, we did.
Yes,
this is 3.
yes, and we have presented. This will be the 3rd time, the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, it's been in different places every time. Yeah.
Yes. So we kind of just really, I wanted to spend the time because we're doing something really unique this time with a workshop.
Yeah.
And we have a great chunk of time, not just like a regular session, to really get participants like fully engaged and add different types of layers, whether those layers are learning experiences, but also voices. So Deann, you have the best job in the world. What's your job?
So I am a tech integrator for my district. And there's 2 of us that work in the 5 different schools, and our district's roughly 2,000 students. So we actually work with students from kindergarten, and I can actually officially say that now because I do work with kindergartners this year, and all the way through 12th grade. So I get to do everything from playing with robots to coding to supporting students, LMS stuff, and I mean everything, a little bit of everything. A lot goes on here.
The beautiful part is, okay, even though it's 3 years for us at FETC, this will be our 3rd year. It's been like 5 years working together around bringing digital citizenship to Lakeshore, but not just like in a classroom experience, like an entire like school community experience. So do you what does that mean? Like for somebody that's like, what do you mean the whole school?
Well, and the first year that I was in this position was the first year we started working with you in our district. And it was like, whoa, what are we doing? Because like Mike has said before, Michael Dresek, we always talked about digital citizenship as all the stuff we didn't want our kids to do. And I never really thought about it from that other light that like, let's teach them the right stuff to do, teach them how to be, good and use tech for good and make that positive spin on things while teaching the things that we need to teach them too. But so we have had quite the journey from our big summit to our senior center to our 21st century night with parents. So we have done a ton of stuff, and I am excited to go to FETC and talk about the stuff that we did at Lakeshore, but also how to make it work. I mean, because we made it work, and it was crazy, especially as a first year in this position. Even being, I've been in education since 2000, 2001, but don't count that. That's a lot of years. And so we did it, and we pulled the right people together, and we have done a lot of good in showing students how to actually use technology for good to help their community, to help, to help people instead of to tear them down, I guess.
Yeah. And the beautiful part about our workshop is, there is going to be time to experience what I would call like passion projects, like
Mhm.
examples of how you can embed how to be alert, balanced, engaged, informed, inclusive into, it doesn't matter what grade you teach or what your content is. So there'll be that opportunity, but there'll also be an opportunity to talk to different voices. So I always like to look at it as layers, right? We're adding
Mhm.
this layer. So, and the work that we've been able to do together is like incredible because yes, we got to go into classrooms and we got to have students do like from elementary to high school incredible passion projects around, you know, use tech for good and digital citizenship. But we also got the Boys and Girls Club involved after school.
Mhm.
We got parents and caregivers.
Yep.
We got that senior center. I feel like you also, Lakeshore has, I hope I'm going to get the name right. It's like family, is it Family Social Services?
Yeah, family services. Yeah,
Family
so they
Services.
got involved. Yep. Our guidance
We got,
counselors.
yes, we got the guidance counselors involved, all the teacher librarians
Mhm.
involved. So it's like multiple voices. And instead of having, because usually what school districts do is they come and they get an expert, right? An expert comes and they put on, you know, an assembly. And whether that's assembly is for students or the assembly is for the teachers, the educators, or the assembly is for the parents and caregivers. And when you set up a situation like that, right? That
It,
expert,
it's one and it's done.
yeah, it's one and it's done, and that expert is talking at you.
Yep.
So, Deann, what have we done the last 5 years together? Because we're not
No,
talking at anybody.
no, we literally, like, I know you say this all the time, but we're meeting them where they're at. So we started working with teachers and said, this is what we would like to do. This is our vision. How can we include you? What do you want to learn about? What would your students be interested in doing? And we, like our first year especially, we asked the teachers for their input, went into their classrooms, supported their students. The students became our teachers during our first event. And that was so empowering to them. So they did not just learn about technology and about how using tech for good, but they got to teach our teachers. And they were good, because
Yeah.
they were like, I'm doing this. I came to school on a day that I could be sleeping, and I'm going to teach my teachers, and I'm going to teach the teachers that I haven't even been in classrooms with yet. I'm going to teach all these kids or all these adults.
It was
So
incredible because it was that opportunity. Nobody's talking at anybody. We created time and space where we're
mhm,
learning with each other. Like everybody was a learner, everybody was a teacher. It was like we
yeah,
set the situation up for a win-win for an entire school community
one of
to
the
learn together.
I think one of the most, as a mom and as a teacher, but as a mom, one of the most interesting groups we worked with was, I think it was third grade. I could be wrong. It might be fourth. I can't remember. But we went in and they wanted to do a podcast, and they wanted to do a podcast about like famous Twitter people and famous YouTube people and famous
Influencers.
gamers.
Yep.
Yeah, before influencers was really the
A thing.
term, right? And I think their work, because they really had to do research, they had to find out stuff about those people so that they could educate us, and not so that we weren't so scared of them. So we weren't like, oh, he's a YouTuber, what does that mean? And so that was such a cool experience. Plus they did a lot of work and they were proud of it, and then they got to learn how to do a podcast. Like, there's just so many layers to the stuff our students did too. So it was
You
cool.
know,
And then,
okay, one of my favorite memories is I think they ended up calling themselves like the Tech Bros.
yeah,
And those were elementary students, maybe fifth graders.
yeah,
But I remember in particular one of the ed tech pros um, admitting, he said, I remember when you first came in, you said that all it takes is one person to stand up and make a difference. And then one becomes many. And I remember him saying, like, at some point mid year, that he heard that message and he said, I was new to the school. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. And so I taught myself, I think, was it like Bloxels?
Axels.
I
Mm-hmm.
taught myself Bloxels. I created this game and now everybody wants to play my game, right? Like now I know everybody. Like I took that, all it takes is one person to stand up, right? And make a difference. And now that one becomes many. And
Mm-hmm.
then they started their own like company as like the tech bros.
Yep.
And like the class that also they started like well, they were going to put
That,
you and Michael Dresik out of business. They started their own,
oh,
uh,
the tech, yeah. What do they call themselves? The like the tech gurus or whatever. I don't remember what they
yes,
called it,
where
but
they were kind of like, you need to come and you need to meet with, you have got some tech problems, like,
mm-hmm.
come to the Genius Bar.
Yep.
Like uh, it was really incredible
And
to
I really liked the I am statements or I will statements that
yes,
the one class did, because they brought it to life. They
they
actually
did.
had people bringing like recyclables and donations and selling baked goods so that they could raise money for things, and they turned into local organizations money and donations and things like that. And I'm like, this is crazy. You're in fifth grade, I think it was fifth graders. I'm like, this is
And it's
awesome.
like, they learned that not because someone was talking at them, but like this was that actionable piece where my words and my actions really do matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so our workshop at FETC, well, actually, not just our workshop, but what we've done the last 2 years, now this will be our third year together, is really we're consistently trying to model why this approach
Yeah.
is really important. And it's not just, some teachers or the tech enthusiasts that need to do this. This is like on all of us so
Yeah.
that we
And
create.
you have to have your admin that supports it, and you have to have the people that are going to share what you're doing, so that everyone gets to hear about it, to learn about it, experience it, and that are they push it out to people that are excited to do something with it themselves. So
Yeah. And that first year we had a student-led DigCit Summit where the outside community came to learn. It was like an open house.
mhm,
And it wasn't like they just got up and they did a presentation like a standard conference. It was an ongoing conversation and it kind of rotated throughout the day. But I remember there were like um elementary teachers that saw previous students now in middle school or high school, and like their comments about, I would never have ever imagined the confidence, you
mhm,
know from these students. And that, it was really powerful, Deann. And I'm really proud of the work that we've done together, because
mhm.
I feel like we've modeled this idea of being a team,
Yeah.
adding different voices, doing this side by side. And then each year we kept on adding a different layer to the outside community to come
I
and continue to learn with the students.
I think one of my favorite experiences with all of the stuff we done is when we went to the senior center and we had the students teaching the seniors how to use Flipgrid so that they could send messages to their family. And it was just amazing. And how great for those seniors too. Like, they learned a new skill, but those kids were able to teach them that skill. It's kind of like a reminder that everybody has some value. They can learn from each other. It doesn't matter how old you are, and or how young you are for that matter. And it was just such a nice place to be that day. Like, so cool.
I agree. And I remember those seniors, and I remember the woman that like organizes the different type of events at that senior center, and how our event was so popular. Like everyone wanted to make sure that they could participate. And I remember that the seniors, like, that overall message was like, we all need a purpose, right? Like, I have this
Mhm.
device, but I want to be able to do something other than just play games on my device.
Mhm.
And what a great opportunity, like that intergenerational, doesn't matter how young or old you are, like we're all in a position to learn, we're all in a position to teach, right? And we
Yeah.
have so much to do together. I loved that as well. So our workshop is this opportunity not only to experience that, but there will be time that we're carving out where where individually we'll be able to work with you to personalize this process, like, because everybody's starting point is different, right?
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
having an opportunity, I remember when we first started, it was to look at like tech policies
Mhm.
and like, let's look at the language of your tech policy. When was the last day, last time it was updated? Whose voice is, included, whose voice is excluded? Is it a whole list of don't,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
what are those steps that you need to take as a direct result of joining us at FETC so that you can start to not just make a commitment, because I feel like what Lakeshore has done, and really because of the leadership of you and Michael Drezek, you made a commitment to digital citizenship, but you went from DigCit commit to DigCit impact. And that was the focus on action. And that's what we want to help all the participants who join our workshop, so they're able to do something similar.
Yeah. And like you said, like we did our things our way, but we can talk about the process, because no matter what you wanted to do, there's still certain steps that you should all be following anyways, getting the right people and getting out into the community and, trying different things along the way. Some kind of stink. They weren't great, but we learn and we keep going and we just keep trying different things and trying to make more of an impact. And we've had a lot of great support along the way. So I'll be there to talk about it.
I think it's fantastic. And what other sessions are you doing at FETC? I think you're
I'm
with Amy
doing,
Bloom,
I
right?
am doing Amy Bloom and I, woohoo!
Shout out to Amy.
We'll show up in our chef hat for our creativity session. It's all about learning different platforms that help with creativity. And I think it's called Creativity with a Dash of AR and VR, I think is the name of it. And then we're also doing an e-robots, an elementary level robot session where it's really going to be like, hey, this is why we should use robots, but let's actually just spend some time playing with them. So we'll have a whole bunch of robots set up for teachers to play with because we never have time to play.
Well, I just know my first FETC, I think it was yours too, was with you, right? That was your first. And I love the community. Like, I really, out of all the conferences.
Yeah.
So I just want to, and I asked, so I already got an opportunity talking about different voices. So Matthew joined us. I guess that was last week, that administrator voice, right? Looking outside that lens, a different voice. But we ended it talking about like a favorite memory, whether it's, that FETC memory or like a Jennifer Womble, because I think, she's really responsible for the magic. So like, what's one of your favorite memories to share? And why
Well,
people don't
my
miss this opportunity?
my favorite memory was kind of area specific, I guess, when we were in Miami and we got to spend some time together, you and I, and we went to your favorite spot across the street, got to see
With the
the
yoga
animals.
turtle. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
loved that.
Yeah. But I mean, FETC is great. It's not so big that you're like, you have to walk a mile to get to your next session. It's just so nice. I have literally no idea what New Orleans is like, but I'm assuming it's the same type of thing. And I feel like every few steps you take, you see someone that you know just from the tech world or from social media. And it's just so everyone is so happy to be there and to be learning from people. And I don't know, I always have enjoyed FETC the most out of all of the things I've gone to. I
I have
have
to
fun.
say, it's really the community. I even like the speaker room is probably the very first place that I met Jennifer Womble. And I was with Jamie Donnelly. So shout out to Jamie, right? Like, I feel like that's how I met Jennifer. But I felt like cheers. I
Yeah.
know I'm from Boston. I'm using this analogy of Boston, but like, everybody knows your name. You feel wanted. Like, if Norm didn't show up to,
He'd be
like,
missed. Yeah.
people, he'd be missed. And I felt like that's the feeling about that, like, Jennifer has created,
Mm-hmm.
she has built.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited that this is my third year and my third year with you, Deann, right? As we continue to always bring in, I'm always looking for those opportunities to
Mm-hmm.
focus on how do we use technology for good? Whether that's in the classroom, at school, at home, at play, at work, all those different ages as well, an entire community coming to learn together. I can't think of anything more important than that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm so excited to be a part of your session. When I found out you were going, I was like, yes, I need to go.
Yes, and so we have all these different voices. I think there's like 12 of us. So
Oh,
from now until FETC, I just want to go live quickly to
yeah.
kind of highlight what we're going to be doing. But your voice is really not just important, but extra special to me because of what we've done together the last 5 years, but specifically also when it comes to FETC, what we've done now, it'll be 3 years in a row together. So
I'll miss Jess
um,
this year.
I know. And can I say one other nice really thing about FETC? How about we did a session, right, on Classcraft? That was, I think, the first year. And neither one of us had ever done it with students. And so we throw it out there. Because we wanted to make sure, and it was a packed session. That was a great session. And we put it out there, and Lori Guion, shout out to Lori, right? Lori joined us.
And Classcraft.
And Classcraft joined us. Oh, that was funny.
They might have saved us.
They saved us. They really did save us. I think it was Hutch. That was his, I think he goes by Hutch. That's like his nickname. But we went down to you. You were like, wait, we're doing what? And we haven't done this with students? Yeah, of course we are. So we ran down to the expo hall, kind of like an SOS. I think you might have done the SOS. I was like, yeah, we got it. And then, yeah, they helped us, and Lori helped us. And that's like the type of community that FETC is all about. So I know that particular year, Matthew, only because of last week, talked about that he said the same thing about Bunsey. Can anybody help me? Who showed up to help him?
Yeah.
Lori.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Lori's
just wonderful. Great. So I can't wait to see you in New Orleans. I can't thank you enough for all that you do, like day in and day out. And I really thank you I'm really proud that I get to be on this journey with you, Deann.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you in New Orleans, everybody.
Woohoo!
Love it.